Let's talk about something that's quietly shaking up the entire workplace. It's a revolution, really, and it's changing everything we thought we knew about being qualified for a job. We're moving past just looking at a degree and into an era where what you can actually do is what truly matters. And it all starts with a feeling I think a lot of us can relate to. This quote from Metro UK just nails it. You spend years studying, you get that diploma, you're excited, but then you start your first job and realize there's this huge gap between the theory you learned and the practical skills you need, like right now. So you might think, well, that's what corporate training is for, right? To bridge that gap. But the data, well, the data tells a very different story. According to Forbes, only 12% of employees actually use the skills they learn in corporate training back on the job. Just think about that for a second. That means for every $100 a company spends on training, a whopping $88 is basically going down the drain. It's a staggering amount of waste. And it's not just the employees who are seeing this. The view from management is just as rough. A full 75% of managers are unhappy with their own company's learning and development programs. So the people paying for the training and the people taking the training both agree the system is failing. This leads us to the big, critical question, doesn't it? If the traditional ways we hire and develop people are so broken, where do we even go from here? What's the new model for building a workforce that is genuinely skilled, effective, and ready for the real world? Well, the root of this whole problem has a name. We can call it the credentials crisis. It's this idea that the old markers we used to trust, diplomas, training certificates, they're just losing their power to predict if someone can actually do the job well. And this quote from Forbes gets right to the heart of the shift that's happening. The business world isn't waiting around for colleges to catch up. Big companies are now building their own systems to certify skills internally because, at the end of the day, they need to know for sure what their people can actually do. So why does this keep happening? Harvard Business Review explains it perfectly. A one-off training session is kind of like a New Year's resolution. It sounds great, you're motivated for a day, but without a system to reinforce it, you just slide back into your old habits. Learning doesn't stick because it's not being checked, verified, and woven into the day-to-day work. So, if that old currency of credentials is losing its value, what's replacing it? The answer is both simple and incredibly powerful: competence. This is the new gold standard. It's the new currency in the modern workplace. The World Economic Forum even calls this the skills economy. And in this new world, your most valuable asset isn't just the list of degrees on your resume. It's your proven, demonstrable ability to get things done and deliver results. So let's be super clear about what we mean by competence. This isn't just some vague corporate buzzword. It has a very precise meaning. Competency is the ability to take what you know and the skills you have and apply them to get a specific result. It's the bridge between knowing something and actually doing something. And you can break it down into these three essential pillars. First, you've got knowledge. That's the what you need to know. Then in the middle, you have the practical part, the what you need to be able to do. And this third one is crucial: attitude. That's how you do it. Are you being safe? Are you a team player? To be truly competent, you need all three. Okay, so understanding the concept is one thing, but actually building a whole organization around it, that takes a totally new approach. You have to become an architect of a brand new system that's designed from the ground up for competence. The absolute foundation, the bedrock of this entire system is one thing: competency standards. Now, these are not your typical vague job descriptions. They are crystal clear, objective benchmarks for every single important task and a role. They define exactly what good looks like with no room for confusion. And creating these standards isn't just guesswork, it's a really rigorous process. They follow what's called the SMART VCS principles. This whole framework makes sure the standards are specific and measurable, so there's no gray area. But what's absolutely key here is that V for valid. It means these standards are developed with your own in-house subject matter experts, so you know they reflect the real work, not some generic idea from a textbook. Once you have a system built on these clear standards, it completely changes the game for career development. You still have that classic vertical progression, climbing the ladder, but now you also unlock horizontal progression. This empowers people to use their verified skills to move into new roles across the company, which creates incredible flexibility and agility. Now, a system is only as good as the people running it, right? So in a competency-based model, you create these specific internal roles. We can call them the guardians of quality, and their job is to make sure the system is fair, consistent, and actually works. First up, you've got the assessor. Now, this isn't your manager. Think of this person more like a neutral, specially trained referee. Their only job is to watch a colleague perform a task and ask one simple question: did they meet the standard? It's a clear, unbiased check on someone's skill. Next, you have the instructor. This is your internal trainer, but they are laser-focused. They're not just running generic workshops. They design training with one goal and one goal only: helping employees get the specific skills and knowledge they need to meet that competency standard. And finally, holding the whole thing together is the verifier. This is your internal quality control. The verifier checks up on the assessors and the instructors to make sure that standards are being applied the same way, fairly, across the entire company. They are the ultimate guardian of the system's integrity. And the beautiful thing here is that it creates this amazing, self-sustaining career path right inside your company. Today's most competent worker becomes tomorrow's assessor. The best assessors can then become instructors, and the most experienced of them all become verifiers. You are literally building your own pipeline of mentors and leaders from the ground up. So, what does all of this really mean in practice? Well, it all boils down to a fundamental shift that connects learning directly to performance you can actually see and measure. Think about all those corporate initiatives that sometimes just feel like posters on a wall. In this system, they become real, tangible skills. 5S, the method for workplace organization, is no longer just a vague idea. It's a verifiable competence. Kaizen, the principle of continuous improvement, becomes a measured ability. You're turning abstract goals into real-world results. And this right here brings us to the most important point of all. For decades, we've been asking the wrong question. We ask, are you trained? Which really only tells us if someone sat in a classroom. The new, much more powerful question is, are you competent? Which tells us if they can actually deliver. This shift from asking, are you trained, to are you competent, is the heart and soul of the competency revolution. And it leaves us with one last critical question to think about. Your organization is already spending thousands, maybe millions on training, but is all that time and money focused on answering the right question?